The Erebus drifted through the Council's outer docking ring like a ghost from another age. Its hull bore the faded emblem of Earth's crest, a blue sphere wrapped in laurel. The symbol hadn't been seen in the core systems for a decade. Every patrol ship that scanned her sent the same report back to command, human origin confirmed. No hostile readings, crew of 1. Captain Lira Kael stood on the observation deck as the artificial sunrise of Axiom Prime bled across the docking corridor. The station glittered like a city suspended in the breath of a god. She straightened her jacket, adjusted the insignia at her collar, still polished, though no government remained to issue it, and spoke softly into the silence. "Docking complete. Time to remind them Earth hasn't vanished," the voice of the ship's onboard AI, a smooth Terran synthesis, responded. "Reminder, the Galactic Council revoked diplomatic clearance for human envoys 7 cycles ago." "I'm aware," she said. "Open the airlock." The hiss of pressure equalization sounded like a sigh from the ship itself. When the hatch slid open, the scent of sterilized air and alien ozone replaced the familiar steel tang of Terran alloys. Guards awaited her, insectoid Catherians with mirrored eyes and polished armor. One extended a claw. "Captain Kael, you will submit your weapon and data core for inspection." "No weapons," she replied, handing over a sealed data drive. Only the truth. They didn't understand the irony. Few in the galaxy ever did when it came to humans. The council chamber loomed ahead, an amphitheater of floating tiers and pulsating banners. Hundreds of delegates filled the space, scaled, feathered, crystalline, and gaseous. Their languages overlapped into a low hum, translated by the chamber's auto-lexicons into a single coherent voice. The council convenes. At the center, the High Archon Vortal presided, draped in ceremonial armor of obsidian plates. His narrow mouth twitched when he saw her. "A human," he said, his translator smoothing the disdain into civility. "I was told your kind had abandoned the stars." Lira stepped forward until her boots touched the light ring boundary that marked the speaker's platform. "Earth has been silent," she said. "Not absent." Laughter rippled through the tiers, dry, dismissive. A crystalline being near the Archon's left flickered with amusement. "Silence," it hummed, "is what comes after defeat." Lira ignored it. She placed the drive on the console. The chamber's holographic systems activated, projecting a rotating sphere. Earth. Clouds turned. Oceans shimmered. For a moment, even the aliens stopped whispering. 10 years ago," Lira began, "the Sol system ceased transmitting. Not because of war or collapse, but because the data stream shifted frequency. We believed it was interference until this appeared." She tapped the console. The projection distorted, then a pulse echoed through the chamber's speakers, a sound between a heartbeat and thunder. A voice followed, calm but ancient, like Earth itself had learned to speak. "If the galaxy still breathes our name," it said, "tell them they should listen while they still can." Silence fell. The words carried weight beyond translation. Vortal leaned back, tapping a claw against the armrest. A mythic tone for a farewell message. Perhaps your homeworld finally recognized its irrelevance. "That message was transmitted 3 times, Lira said, each time from a different orbital coordinate. I triangulated them. They form this pattern." She switched the display again, 3 points connecting into a spiral, looping around Earth's orbit like a halo. It pulsed rhythmically. "A heartbeat," she murmured. "Coincidence," Vortal declared. "Humans are prone to superstition. Your species mistook its own chaos for meaning." Lira met his gaze. "Then explain this." The spiral began expanding, replicating outward into 3-dimensional waves, precise, mathematical, deliberate. The Council's sensors synced instantly, recognizing the code structure. It mirrored the Council's own communication lattice, but inverted, as if reflecting it. "It's not a message," she said quietly. "It's a mirror." Whispers rose like static. A serpent-bodied delegate slithered forward. "If it reflects, then it listens." "Exactly." Vortal waved his claw impatiently. "Enough! The Council will not chase ghost signals from a forsaken world. Humanity's membership is void. We shall redistribute Terran space to responsible civilizations." Lyra's hand tightened on the console. Her voice sharpened, cold as orbit-forged glass.
Redistribute?
You mean seize. Call it stewardship. Earth's silence proves humanity cannot govern itself. The hum in the chamber shifted. Some delegates nodded in agreement, others watched with unease. Lira forced her tone to remain even. Silence doesn't mean surrender, Archon. Sometimes it means observation, he smirked. And sometimes it means extinction. Lira deactivated the display and picked up the data drive. Then let's see which it is. She turned and walked out. None stopped her. None dared. The door sealed behind her with the finality of a verdict. Her quarters aboard the Erebus were dark except for the slow blink of the navigation panel. She inserted the drive into the ship's core. Lines of encrypted Terran code scrolled across the interface. The AI spoke softly. Multiple hidden layers detected. Would you like to proceed with decryption? Yes. The ship's hum deepened. As the algorithm unraveled, an image took form. A sphere of coordinates around Earth, each marked with faint energy readings. They pulsed together, forming a single harmonic rhythm. AI, she said, compare frequency with known council relay channels. Analysis complete, it replied. They are identical and but reversed in phase. A mirrored pulse network. So every time the council transmits, Earth listens. She leaned closer, voice barely above a whisper. Or responds. The console emitted a faint resonance. Her heart matched its beat. The timing was too exact to ignore. Humanity had built something vast beneath the silence. Something waiting. A sudden alert flashed across her display. Intercepted council communication. She read the translation aloud. Threx Dominion fleet en route to Sol System. Objective, secure Terran artifacts. Her pulse slowed. She closed her eyes, letting the calm settle like dust after a storm. They never learn, she said softly. They always have to touch the fire. The AI waited. Captain, new sensor readings. Gravitational anomalies near Sol perimeter. Show me. A small hologram appeared, Threx vessels blinking out one by one as they neared the heliopause. No explosion, no debris, just absence. Signal interference? Negative, said the AI. Space-time distortion detected. Origin Sol. She exhaled, slow and deliberate. So the echo begins. The AI hesitated. Echo? What happens when silence answers back? She looked once more at the image of Earth rotating on her display. The blue marble glowed faintly, surrounded by the pulsing halo. The rhythm was steady, patient, alive. Outside her viewport, the stars of Axiom Prime shimmered, oblivious, arrogant, unaware. Lira straightened, tapping the comm link on her wrist. Council won't listen, she murmured. Then the galaxy will have to. Her ship detached from the dock. The engines ignited, painting the void with blue fire. As the Erebus slipped into hyperspace, the faint echo of the transmission replayed one last time through the cabin, that same calm voice, now clearer, resonant with power. Tell them. They should listen while they still can, and this time the Erebus didn't reply. It simply vanished into the silence. The council chamber had not been this crowded in centuries. Every seat pulsed with life. Envoys, warlords, scientists, and clerics from hundreds of worlds. The news had spread faster than any official channel could contain. The Threx Dominion's fleet had vanished near Sol. No distress signals. No wreckage, just static. Archon Vurtal stood at the central dais, his shadow stretching across the circular floor. His obsidian armor caught the light like liquid metal. The human phenomenon, he announced, is clearly a trap. We will not be manipulated by a dead species' final trick. Murmurs rolled through the hall. Delegates whispered about gravitational distortions, mirrored frequencies, and time echoes. None agreed on the cause, but all felt the same unease. The silence of Sol now listened back. At the chamber's entrance, Captain Lira Kael strode in. Her boots struck the marble floor with a deliberate rhythm that silenced the crowd more effectively than any command. She wore no insignia now, only a plain dark uniform marked by the faint blue glow of a Terran insignia burned into her sleeve. Vortal's eyes narrowed. Captain Kael, you were not summoned. I didn't need an invitation, she said, stepping into the center. You're discussing humanity without a human voice present. I'm correcting that. A crystalline delegate shifted irritably. Correction denied. The Terran seat has been vacant for a decade. Then consider this, she replied, a reclamation. The hum of the translator field flickered as languages collided. Vortal raised a claw to quiet them. Speak then. Defend your world's superstition. Lira inserted a drive into the Council's core projector. The holographic sphere of soul appeared, surrounded by data ribbons, pulsating arcs of mirrored signals. Your fleets entered this perimeter, she said. They transmitted on every known frequency. What they didn't understand was that Earth no longer broadcasts. It reflects. Every pulse you send is inverted and returned. A delegate with gills leaned forward. Returned where? Everywhere, she said. It's not communication, it's resonance. Earth's silence was the formation of a network that listens across the entire galactic lattice. Vortal's tone sharpened. And you expect us to believe your primitive world achieved what our entire civilization could not? Primitive? She smiled faintly. You built empires by shouting across the stars. We learned what happens when you whisper instead. A ripple of discomfort spread through the tears. The implication was clear. Humanity's silence had been intentional. Vortal paced the edge of the dais, claws clicking softly. Then explain the loss of our ships. Explain the distortions, the vanishing vessels. You aimed weapons at a mirror, she said, and wondered why the reflection fired back. The murmuring turned into argument. Some delegates demanded investigation, others called for retaliation. The chamber's glow dimmed slightly as energy redirected toward the central display. Lira's data stream expanded, projecting energy readings from Sol. Oscillations of gravity and light forming a slow rhythm. That pattern, said a technician in the back, matches the frequency of our comm beacons. Yes, Lira confirmed, except inverted in polarity. Earth is synchronizing against the Council's grid, matching your frequencies and sending them back amplified. Every broadcast you make increases the resonance. A winged envoy hissed, Then we must cut all transmissions. Vortal slammed his claw down. We do not fear shadows. Silence is weakness. Lira's gaze met his. You're mistaking quiet for weakness again, Archon. It didn't end well for your fleet. He ignored the jab. I will not let a single world destabilize the Council's authority. The Threx Dominion will dispatch another armada. We will burn that planet clean. The chamber erupted. Protest, fear, outrage. Lira waited until the noise began to collapse under its own weight, then spoke. You think you're facing a planet? She said. You're facing a system that learned to listen faster than you can think. Before anyone could reply, the lights flickered. A deep hum rolled through the chamber floor. Holographic projectors glitched, not static but repetition. The same phrase echoed in every language simultaneously. Echo detected. The words repeated, pulsing through the walls, not as sound but vibration. Delegates clutched at their translators as the devices began to overheat. A technician screamed from the control pit. The signal's coming from everywhere. It's overriding our internal network. Vortal bared his fangs. Shut it down. We can't. It's inside the lattice itself. Lira stepped closer to the display. The projection of Sul expanded, and within the blue sphere, faint golden filaments appeared, like threads weaving outward. Each thread connected to a star system that had once hosted a human colony. What is that? Vortal demanded. Our memory, Lira said. Every Terran ship, AI, and relay left dormant across the stars, all waking up together. The Archon's face hardened. An illusion. Then why is your fleet screaming? He froze. Across the chamber, emergency reports appeared in midair, distress transmissions from Threx command vessels. Their captains shouted into static as their coordinates collapsed into unreadable strings. Gravitational signatures fluctuated wildly. It's not attacking, Lira murmured. It's reflecting you. The more you resist, the louder it becomes. Vortal's voice rose, distorted by the interference. You'll answer for this. No, she said, calm as a tide. You'll listen. The words carried a strange gravity. Even through the chaos, her tone anchored the moment. Delegates froze, eyes fixed on her. The hologram pulsed faster, heartbeat tempo. Every civilization hears itself eventually, she said. You mocked Earth's silence because you never learned how to be quiet. But the galaxy's echo chamber is built on cause and consequence. What you send out, the chamber shuddered. Every light turned crimson for an instant, then dimmed. The projection displayed only one word now, repeated in human script and galactic glyphs alike. Listen. The vibration ran through the floor into their bones. Vortal stumbled, gripping the dais. What is it doing? Synchronizing, Lira answered. The first harmonic phase. For what purpose? She looked at him, not with hatred but pity. To remind you that silence is not the absence of power. It's the pause before it speaks. The word struck deeper than any weapon. Around them, the Council's systems began to reset, aligning to the same slow pulse. Instruments flickered, translating the rhythm into coordinates. Those points, gasped a delegate, they're spreading. Beyond Sol, beyond Council space. Yes, Lira said softly. The echo is expanding. Vortal's composure cracked. He turned to the assembly. Order all fleets to disengage from Sol immediately. But it was too late. The final report arrived, a visual feed from the edge of the Sol boundary. The Threx armada hovered above Earth, weapons charged. Then every ship folded inward, not destroyed but absorbed. The feed froze. The data ended with a single audio fragment. Echo complete. The chamber fell into suffocating quiet. Even the translators ceased humming. Lira took a breath, her voice steady. You wanted Earth's silence explained, Archon. Now you've heard it. He stared at her, fury battling disbelief. What have you unleashed? Nothing, she said, walking toward the exit. We just stopped pretending to be small. The door slid shut behind her, leaving the Council in the dim afterglow of its own arrogance. The hum returned one last time, not menacing, not violent, just a heartbeat echoing across the station floor. And somewhere far beyond the core, the blue planet pulsed in rhythm, listening. The Council citadel no longer shimmered with its usual brilliance. Power conduits pulsed irregularly, casting the vast chamber in waves of dim light. The echo hadn't stopped since the last transmission. Every panel, every comm array, and even the transparent walls vibrated with that same unyielding rhythm, one heartbeat every 7 seconds. Delegates whispered in fear. Some covered their ears as if they could shut out a sound that wasn't sound at all. The hum existed deeper, inside atoms, in the metal, in thought itself. Archon Vortal stood before the Council's central core, his armor's obsidian surface now dull and flickering. He slammed his claw against the dais, sending sparks through the air. "Restore control," he roared. "I want every frequency shut down, now." Technicians scrambled, fingers flying over consoles that no longer obeyed. The displays flickered with human code, flowing Terran script intertwined with alien glyphs, creating sentences no translator could fully interpret. "Archon," a trembling aide said, "the network isn't external anymore. The Citadel itself is harmonizing with the signal." "Nonsense," he barked. "Machines cannot harmonize with ghosts." A calm voice cut through the chaos. "It's not a ghost, Archon. It's synchronization." Every head turned. Captain Lira Kael stepped into the chamber, illuminated by the pale blue glow of the failing lights. Her uniform was scorched, her expression composed but cold. Behind her, the doors sealed automatically, isolating them from the outside. Vortal's glare was venomous. "You return to gloat?" "To witness," she said evenly. "You wanted the truth about Earth. It's here." The chamber's holographic systems activated on their own, projecting a massive sphere above the Council floor, Earth surrounded by a halo of light. But this time the image was alive. Rings of energy radiated outward, spreading through the void, intersecting with star systems like ripples through water. "What is it doing?" whispered a crystalline envoy. Lira's eyes reflected the projection. "It's not doing anything, you are." Every species that ever sent a transmission, a signal, a weapon toward Earth, all of it bounced back. Every action you took is returning to its source. The Archon's expression faltered. "You claim your world can bend physics?" "We stopped trying to bend it," she replied. "We learned to resonate with it." The projection zoomed out, showing how those ripples formed geometric patterns, vast, elegant, terrifying. Each ring corresponded to a human outpost, colony, or dormant AI system awakening in perfect harmony. Vortal's aide stammered. These coordinates, they're everywhere. Thousands of dormant installations, all aligned, Lira nodded. We withdrew to synchronize every human system across known space. 10 years of silence wasn't absence. It was calibration. A new vibration filled the chamber. Deeper, slower. The floor panels began to hum underfoot. Vortal stumbled as the sound reached inside him. The pulse aligned with his own heartbeat, and for a split second his vision blurred. "What's happening to me?" he gasped. "You're resonating," Lira said quietly. "Human DNA emits microharmonic signatures. The echo adjusts any biological system in range to match. You're feeling what we've been carrying all along." He gritted his teeth, forcing his balance. "You've turned yourselves into a weapon." "Into a mirror," she corrected. "Weapons destroy. Mirrors reveal," the chamber darkened. From the projection's core, the image of a vast neural web appeared. Light filaments connecting stars, stations, and ancient human ruins long thought abandoned. Each pulse carried coded information, too dense for translation. "That's impossible," whispered a delegate. "You can't link across light years instantly." "Not instantly," Lira said. "Through phase alignment. Time is just another frequency." The revelation sank like a blade into silence. The council, so used to dominance and control, now stared into the mathematical beauty of something they couldn't comprehend. Vortal slammed his claw down again, desperate to reclaim authority. "If you think this will frighten us into submission—" "No," she interrupted softly. "I don't care if you're frightened. I just want you to understand what you tried to erase." Her hand moved across the console and the projection shifted again, now showing recorded transmissions from the vanished Threx fleet. Each vessel's black box captured fragments before disappearance, distorted voices, mechanical screaming, space folding into light. Then, silence. Lira turned toward him. "Your ships weren't destroyed. They were returned. The coordinates they vanished from now overlap with the Sol orbit. You fired into a mirror, Archon, and the reflection doesn't forget." Vortal's breathing quickened. "What do you want from us?" "Nothing," she said. "That's the part you never understood. Humanity doesn't want the galaxy to kneel. We just wanted it to stop mistaking silence for weakness." Her words carried through the chamber with an eerie steadiness. The projection's glow softened, revealing Earth's surface. Cities alive, continents shining, the planet pulsing like a living organism. "We thought you'd vanished," whispered the crystalline envoy. "We evolved," Lira said. "We stopped shouting to be heard. Now the universe hears us whether it wants to or not." The hum deepened. Systems across the Citadel began reconfiguring, adapting to the resonance. Data streams rewrote themselves, integrating human harmonics into the Council's own communication protocols. Vortal stared at the rising metrics. "You're merging with our systems." "Correction," she replied. "You're merging with ours." A sudden stillness overtook the room. The hologram expanded to fill the entire chamber, bathing everyone in soft blue light. Then a voice emerged, the same calm, ancient tone that had once whispered from Sol's silence. Echo complete. Humanity online. The voice wasn't broadcasted. It existed within them. Every being in the chamber felt the words resonate through their bones. The translation system didn't process it. Their minds simply understood. Vortal sank to his knees, overwhelmed by the sensory overload. "What have you done?" he whispered. Lyra's gaze softened. "You called it silence. We called it synchronization. Now the galaxy is part of the same frequency, willingly or not." The light dimmed, leaving the council chamber awash in quiet blue radiance. Delegates stood motionless, hearing the same unified rhythm beneath the air. Lira stepped closer to the center, voice steady. "You thought dominance kept order." "You were wrong." "Harmony does." The hologram dissolved into starlight. The heartbeat faded into stillness. Not gone, but steady, distant, omnipresent. Vortal rose unsteadily, fury replaced by resignation. "Will the humans return to the council?" She looked at him, calm, unreadable. "We never left. We just stopped speaking your language." She turned toward the exit. As the doors opened, the corridor beyond was no longer dark. Soft blue light traced every wall, every panel, the Council citadel now alive with the same pulse as Earth. Lira paused at the threshold, glancing back one last time. "You wanted to hear our silence. Now you'll live inside it." Then she stepped through the doorway and was gone. The chamber remained utterly still. The council members stood in silence, each aware that something greater than politics or war had unfolded, something that had rewritten the foundation of their universe. High above Axiom Prime, the Citadel's exterior panels shimmered faintly as thousands of synchronized signals aligned with the Sol system. Across the galaxy, human outposts, AIs, and dormant stations pulsed in unison, a quiet, unstoppable rhythm. In the distance, beyond the stars, the blue planet turned slowly beneath its halo, reflecting light like a living mirror. And though the galaxy had mocked humanity's silence, it would now echo with that heartbeat for generations to come. The first dawn after the echo came without sunrise. Axiom Prime orbited its star in silence, but the usual chorus of ship traffic and broadcast chatter had ceased. The vast citadel drifted in stillness, bathed in a faint blue shimmer that now pulsed with a rhythm older than politics, older than the Council itself. Captain Lira Kael stood on the outer observation platform, the transparent barrier stretching above her like a dome of glass and light. The stars looked different now, brighter, sharper, aligned. Even the void hummed with quiet order. Her reflection in the glass stared back, framed by the endless cosmos and Earth's faint glow far across the gulf of space. The door behind her opened with a hiss. Archon Vortal entered, his obsidian armor dull, his authority fractured. Without his usual entourage, he looked smaller, stripped of arrogance and certainty. "You shouldn't be here," he said, voice hoarse. "Neither should you," Lira replied. "But here we are." He stopped beside her, staring at the stars that now blinked in perfect intervals. The pulse echoed faintly beneath their feet. "It hasn't stopped," he muttered. "Every system, every satellite, every life support relay, all of it follows the same rhythm now." "What did you do to us?" Lira's tone carried no triumph, only quiet resolve. "We didn't do anything to you. The galaxy is just hearing itself for the first time." Vortal's claws tapped against the railing. "You speak as if this was inevitable." "It was. You built a civilization that never listened, Archon. We just gave you back the sound you ignored." He turned sharply toward her. "You call this peace? The Council is in chaos! Half our networks are rewriting themselves into your frequencies. Our data architecture is dissolving." "Not dissolving," she corrected. "Integrating. Your systems are learning harmony, something the Council's hierarchy never understood." He snarled, frustration spilling through cracked composure. "Harmony? You've enslaved the galaxy under one signal." She faced him fully. "You can't enslave resonance. You can only join it or break against it." A silence followed. Heavy. Final. Below them, the citadel's structure began to shift subtly, its panels moving like living metal. Holographic conduits stretched across the surface, spreading blue veins of light outward into orbit. Dozens of observation ships floated nearby, broadcasting in secret. Every race in the galaxy was watching this quiet transformation. Vortal clenched his fists. "If this continues, the Council's sovereignty ends." "It already ended," Lira said softly. "The moment it believed authority was louder than truth." He exhaled sharply, his tone suddenly weary. "What becomes of us then? What becomes of the galaxy under your echo?" Lira hesitated, eyes scanning the vast horizon of stars pulsing to Earth's hidden beat. "That depends on how you interpret silence." Hours later, the council chamber convened for what was meant to be an emergency session. But the word session had lost its meaning. No one argued. No one debated. The delegates sat beneath the translucent dome as the chamber lights dimmed to the universal rhythm. Every voice in the hall was subdued, aware that the old rules no longer mattered. A holographic projection flickered into existence. The image of Earth, surrounded by its halo of synchronized energy. For the first time, the planet's transmission included visual data, cities glowing brighter than ever before, oceans alive with energy currents, skies filled with orbiting constructs forming geometric constellations. A crystalline envoy broke the silence. "Is that life?" "Yes," Lira said. "Earth lives. It never died. It evolved beyond noise." The envoy's facets dimmed in awe. "You became something else." "Something older than machines and newer than biology," Lira replied. "We aligned thought, code, and memory into one continuum. The human network isn't command-based, it's resonant. Every action finds balance before it propagates," a reptilian delegate hissed. "And if we resist this balance?" Lira looked at him steadily. "You won't have to. The echo doesn't demand obedience. It only amplifies what's already inside you." The implication settled across the chamber like gravity. If a species carried fear, the echo would magnify fear. If it held empathy, it would magnify that instead. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy. It had simply forced it to face itself. Vortal's voice was low, cautious. "You've turned the universe into a mirror." "Yes," Lira said. "And mirrors don't lie." The chamber's floor panels pulsed once, then again. The main console flared, displaying new data. The human network was expanding beyond the galactic edge. Unknown points of contact appeared, systems thought unreachable. Lira watched the pattern stabilize, her expression unreadable. "It's beginning," she whispered. "What is?" Vortal asked. "The second phase. The echo is no longer just returning signals. It's transmitting its own." A wave of alarm swept through the assembly. "Transmitting what?" a delegate demanded. "Possibility," Lira said. "Information without manipulation. The raw essence of potential. We seeded it in our silence." As she spoke, the holographic stars shifted. Light threads extended far beyond charted space, forming intricate pathways, not roads of matter, but bridges of communication woven through resonance itself. The galaxy was being rewritten in real time. Vortal's voice trembled between awe and terror. "You've made yourselves gods." "No," Lira replied quietly. "We made ourselves listeners." The chamber fell into stillness again. The rhythm of the echo slowed, becoming soft enough to fade beneath conscious thought, yet still present, an undercurrent of unity that no one could unhear. Later, Lira stood alone in the docking bay, watching her ship, Erebus, power up for departure. Its new hull shimmered faintly with the same blue resonance that filled the citadel. She ran a hand across the metal, feeling warmth where there should have been cold alloy. The ship was alive in a way it hadn't been before. Her AI spoke softly through the intercom. "Captain, the Council requests continued presence." "They'll manage without me," she said. "They need to learn to listen to each other now." "Destination?" "Earth. Are you certain you'll be welcomed?" She smiled faintly. "Home doesn't need to welcome you. It remembers you." She stepped onto the ramp but paused at the threshold. Across the bay, Vortal appeared once more, this time unarmed, his expression heavy with reluctant respect. "Kael," he called. "If the galaxy survives this, what comes next?" Lira met his gaze. "Reconstruction. Not of walls or fleets, of understanding. The echo isn't a threat. It's a reminder." "Of what?" "That power means nothing without awareness. That silence isn't emptiness, it's preparation." Vortal lowered his head slightly. "Then perhaps in time we will learn." "Perhaps," she said. "If you keep listening." The ramp retracted. Erebus lifted gracefully from the bay, engines humming in perfect synchrony with the surrounding pulse. The ship turned toward the distant starfield where the faint glow of Sol shimmered like a heartbeat in the dark. As she entered hyperspace, the stars stretched into silver lines. The echo followed, not as a sound, but as a feeling. For the first time in history, the galaxy moved in one rhythm. On Axiom Prime, the citadel continued to shine, its panels reflecting faint human blue across alien architecture. The council remained quiet, their debates replaced by contemplation. Across thousands of worlds, new frequencies arose, not orders, not commands, but music. In the far distance, Earth turned slowly beneath its luminous halo. Its oceans sang in resonance, its cities glowed like constellations, and the heartbeat that once silenced the galaxy now guided it forward. Lira Kael's voice whispered through the transmission field, not as command, but as echo. "We didn't conquer the stars. We tuned them." The sound faded, replaced by a stillness so profound it felt sacred. Then softly, almost imperceptibly, the galaxy breathed again, together.